Here on the PocketBot channel, we also want to showcase some bots that tie in well with your Legend class collection, but who in their own right are not considered Legend scale figures. They're simply bigger, not that easy to fit in your pocket, hence the category.
Can I bag that for you?
So today we'll have a look at the guy that inspired the intro to this category, Jetfire. And there's a funny story behind this guy, which I'll get into in a minute. First, I'll show you what we are looking at. This is, I think, Henkei Skyfire. Now, there's a few versions of this mold, but by the color of the accessories and everything, I think this is the Henkei version. I don't actually have the box, and that has to do with the story behind him. Let me just quickly get this out of the way. I do have his instructions, and there's 2 missiles in here. Haven't got them on the plane right now, but what you would do, you would store them right there, and then there's just a pressure release system that shoots the missiles. I don't tend to keep them on there because I'm afraid I'll lose them. So there you go. Now, the story behind this guy. The other guys here at the PocketBot Collective all have at least one version of Jetfire in their collection. I didn't. And that has to do with the way he needs to scale for me. Because I really like the Iron Factory version that's out there. I also really like the Siege Jetfire that Hasbro did. But neither of them seem to be the right scale for my collection. One's too big. One is just not the right representation. So I've been debating about which Jetfire, Skyfire I should actually add to my collection. And I think the final straw for the other guys was when I showed serious interest in the recently released Cyberverse Jetfire. That's where they drew the line and they were like, we need to get this guy a proper Jetfire that actually meets his requirements. And that's this guy. They shipped him to me. I opened him. Really surprised. Really grateful to get this from the guys. And he's perfect. He is absolutely perfect for how I think Jetfire needs to scale in my collection. It might not be for you. Everybody has different visions. But this video is, once again, just to show you the options that are out there. Now, why is this the perfect Jetfire for my Legend class collection? It all comes down to Starscream. Jetfire and Starscream are this iconic duo for me from G1. And in my mind, there's a certain size difference between them. Now, I have a Starscream. It is core class Starscream from Hasbro. And this is how I think these two should scale. Jetfire needs to be about 75 to 100% bigger than Starscream. Let me put it that way. And in that sense, these guys are ace. Both in jet mode as well as robot mode, which we'll get to in a minute. I think these look awesome together. So I'm really happy to have this guy in the collection. Now, we'll have a look at the figure. We'll get him transformed. We'll do some comparisons. So you can form your own opinion about this. I already showed you there's 2 missiles that I haven't attached. There's some more accessories, but most of it is stored on the jet. You can see handheld guns here, stored in his robot hands. He has these this fold-out landing gear. There's some cannons here on the side, which are actually attached to his Skyfire helmet. Or if you must, the Robotech helmet, so to say. He's got these massive thrusters, which also have a bit of articulation. They're on ball joints. Then you can put the wings in different positions. Hinge them out. You can put them all the way forward, but that's more for transformation. What I actually like is put them like this. This reminds me the most of how Jetfire was in the G1 cartoon. But it's just a really nice looking jet. Has the Autobot logo on there. Also has the Decepticon logo on there. Just like when they freed them from the ice and everything. Has this metallic paint on here. Also on the wings. Some nice blue there, which comes through in transformation later on. So just a really nice, solid jet. And I love it. Now, the bit on top here is detachable. Just clamps in. Which can become his jetpack and also store some weapons in there. Of course, this is more his Macross version. Let me fold in the landing gear as well for now. There we go. Cleans up pretty well. Nice with the thrusters here in the back. And it's still a very nice looking jet. Of course, wing articulation is still the same, but without the jetpack on top, so to say, I like this configuration better. So yeah, that's as much as I have to say about his jet mode. Now, shall we get him transformed? And that is Skyfire, aka Jetfire, transformed. Now, we still got a few bits and pieces laying around here. I said he's got a helmet, which we can take off. Have a quick look. Nice translucent visor. Just slots over his head. Which of course gives him either the G1 toy look or the Robotech Macross Saga look. So it's really cool that that's included, and also that it incorporates into the jet where it sits in the cockpit and forms the guns. But we'll put that to the side for now, because I like to display him with his regular head. We saw this gun before. We can just slot it together so he has one dual blaster to hold. We'll give him that in a minute. I will also show the jetpack. Obviously, you can store it on his back again with the same slots. You can put it this way around, which I usually do, but you can also slot it the other way around, because if you pull these sections back, it has these extra guns. And you can sit that over his shoulder. Won't attach him just now, because I like to display him the other way around. But it is a option you have. You can fully arm this guy up. And it all is nice and easy to maneuver. So, we'll give him this in a minute. Let's first have a look at this guy. Let's pull him in for a look at his face. There we go. Very nicely sculpted. I like the bit of blue on it. That also comes through from his chest. Has yellow for the eyes. And I think it is light piped. Sorry, focus there. It is light piped. Although you don't see it that much right now. So it's not actually yellow. It's just translucent plastic. But it looks a little bit yellowish. Silver face. Blue on there. Very nice. Now, because this is an older figure, you might think he's fairly limited in posability, but he's surprisingly posable. Yeah, the wings again, just put them whichever way you want. I usually put them a bit down. Just the aesthetics I like better. Let's go over the head first. Because of transformation, he can look all the way up, so he can actually fly. But it's a ball joint in there, which is the cut in the neck, so to say. So he has a lot of range. Arms, just rotational joint up here, but then it has a hinge out. It has a rotation at the elbow and the hinge, and the hands are also on. Sorry, hands are also on a swivel. So you can get some pretty cool poses out of this guy. As for the feet, hold on, let me just put the hands out of the way. It has a ratcheted hinge out on this side. Then another hinge there, forward and backward, but of course that gets hindered by the backpack. Can't cut it through the wings here. There we go. Has hinges at the knees, nicely ratcheted, and also rotation at the knee. And then, I don't know if you saw the sort of automorph on the feet, the thrusters. If you move one side of it, the other side flips out. No ankle tilt or anything, but I wouldn't expect something like that with a figure like this. But if we are to pose him, let's just try something here. We'll also arm him up in a minute. Give him his backpack. I like to put it this way around. Just clips in. And then give him his gun as well. There we go. Jetfire all armed up. It's a really cool figure that I actually didn't even know existed. I've never looked at this version of Jetfire before. The backpack, I have to say, does make him a bit back heavy. So, if you can move a bit of stuff forward, like his gun, it'll help him stand a bit better. If you want to display him with the backpack, that is. Could be that you don't want the backpack on there, and then it's easier to get him balanced, but there we go. Alright, for comparison. Let's bring in our little buddy. The whole reason this one works, in my opinion. Let me just adjust the camera a little bit. There we go. Jetfire and Starscream. Again, Core Class Starscream from Hasbro. And this is then Takara, Henkei, Jetfire. And this is perfect in my opinion. Great little bots. Great sizing. Look awesome together in both vehicle modes as well as robot mode. So I'm really, really happy with this guy. And I cannot thank my fellow PocketBot Collective brothers enough for this guy. It was a great Christmas gift. Came in for Christmas 2021. And I love this guy. So yeah. Just a few quick extra comparisons. Of course, we have to bring in our boy Runabout. But as you can see, him and Starscream are about the same height. So there you go. And if you want to know about what size he is then, if this isn't enough, so to say, let me just move him over for a minute. And I'll bring in the other bot that has both Decepticon and Autobot logos. Here is Double Dealer from the War for Cybertron line. He's also part of my Legend Class collection, but I'll put a review out on him later. But yeah, this is why this works for me. The smaller, true Legend Class robots and the bigger tie-in robots that work well with Legend Class figures. So there you go. That is my story and review of Jetfire. Let me know what you think. Let me know what Jetfire you have in your collection. And whether this guy maybe changed your mind a bit. I don't know. Jetfire is one of those characters that for me is difficult, and he changes size even in the cartoon that often that it's hard to say what works for you. Is it the bigger version? Is it the smaller version? Do you try to go for something in between? Do you go for the vehicle size or the robot size? We're all different in that way, and that's a good thing. And that's why it's good that there's options out there. So again, drop us a comment. Let me know which Jetfire you have in your collection and why. And I hope you enjoyed the review. So thank you guys for watching once again. And I'll see you next time. Ape out!